All right, welcome once again this evening, late Wednesday evening edition. Please, as always, like and subscribe down low. This is really meant to be watched live and in person. That way, if you could follow along and ask questions, that's what I'm here for, is just because, I can answer, or you can, we can talk about all this stuff and I can give you the lowdown on what I think. But really, what's going to matter more so to you and what's really going to make the difference here is that you can also be a part of this. You can come in and ask questions. I'll follow along, and that's really what it's all about. So please subscribe, hit that bell so that you know when I'm coming on. Also check out my webpage and Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff as well. Gonna try to keep these kind of short. Otherwise. Right now, you can see not a whole lot going on. Just some clouds moving into the north, very light winds across most of the region currently. Everything that those strong winds that were across portions of northern North Dakota and across the Red River Valley and northwestern Minnesota have now moved out. Created a lot of blowing snow and convective snow showers, so reduced visibility quite a bit at times. But all that has moved out as we're waiting for this next little system to move into the region. As we could see, current conditions, temperatures right now in the eastern part of the North Dakota, generally in the single digits, some teens left over. We can see like 14 down here in Wahpeton, 2 in Grand Forks as you move north. Right now it's Roseau at 10 degrees, International, or Baudette rather, also at 10 degrees. Moving further west, it warms up a little bit once you get through the Missouri River Valley here, Bismarck at 30, and Garrison at 23. Once you get over to Williston, 28. And then down in the southwest, Dickinson, Bowman rather, 28 degrees as well. So once again, pretty much as expected, once you get out of that snowpack, you get into the 20s, even some close to 30. Otherwise, everything off to the east remains cold at this time. Winds lightening up. You can see some red here. That's some leftover gusts down in the southeast. But otherwise, everything has kind of moved on through. So what we're really going to talk about is this next system that's coming through, this next Alberta Clipper. And we're just going to get right to it. This is looking at 3 a.m. this morning, and the latest model as of this evening that came in. This short run model that we often look at, showing some rain and some freezing rain into northwestern North Dakota. Maybe a little bit of winds out ahead of it, but not a whole lot as we move into the 6 a.m. time frame. So once you start traveling, those of you through Bismarck, Minot, Rugby, areas like that, you're going to have a little bit of a messy commute possibly to start your day. It just depends on how quickly those temperatures really want to warm up. As we look at that 6 a.m. time frame and just exactly what those temperatures are going to do, you can see we're just kind of right on that borderline. All this is really developing out ahead of a warm front that's sweeping from west to east out ahead of this Clipper. So temperatures warming up. Winds are going to be moving kind of from the southerly direction to a west and going to start to gust. And there you can see at that 6 a.m. time frame, here's your freezing line. And as you noticed, we had that snow and precip area cutting right in through there. And something's not working here. We're going to do this on the fly. There it is. Yeah, and where you see suddenly that little blue line show up, that's about where the precip was. Once we click back to that, you'll see. But that basically moves from west to east throughout the day. And as it does, warms the temperatures up. Temperatures off in the western parts of the state are going to be real nice once again. What we are also going to be dealing with those wind, of course, as we get this system to quickly move through. You're also going to be dealing with some winds here. You can see once again as well. Here's that 540 line. You may have heard me talk about the thickness lines before, and how that 540 thickness line often delineates between rain and snow. And wouldn't you know it, there you see it right there, that 540 line cutting right through. And that's about the time when some of this rain, or the snow rather, kind of transitions and right in through here through the 9 a.m. time frame. So Bismarck, we're still kind of right on the edge. You're starting to get into that Jamestown area, and up and through Devil's Lake at that 9 a.m. time frame. Going to be mix of a rain, snow, possibly freezing rain. Just depends on how quickly those temperatures warm up. But very, going to be starting off a little messy to start the morning. Once again, that warm front continues to move east. So temperatures in those regions that I just mentioned, Devil's Lake, Bismarck, are going to be warming up nicely. Here we are at noon, and most of this precip is actually through North Dakota, almost through the Red River Valley, but much of it's still remaining in northwestern parts of Minnesota at that time. Temperatures at this point in the day, so as we reach our noontime, we're going to be looking at 40 in Bismarck, 45, 44-ish, mid 40s down in the southwest, mid 30s in the northwest, north central. And then you've got the freezing line once again that cuts right through here. So there's our transition a little bit. So even though that model, as we flip back to here, does show a little bit of snow and some rain, there's our freezing line right in through there still. So you can expect anywhere, 50 miles east and west of there, you might get a mix of rain and snow. Could even be some freezing rain in there for a while. I know the surface temperatures, the road temperatures don't always react as quick, or they just don't react as quick. So even though you might have temperatures at 33, 34 degrees, those road temperatures might just take a little bit longer in some areas, especially if they haven't sanded or salted or put anything down. So just keep that in mind, that even though your car temperature might say a little warmer, the road's going to be, take just maybe a little bit longer to react to that increasing temps. But nevertheless, you can see here at that noon time frame, most of the precip is kind of off, through North Dakota at that time. As we take a look at just, roughly how much snow accumulation they're expecting, or this particular model is showing by noon, probably not a whole lot, just because it's warm. We're looking maybe an inch to 2 off in the northwest, because it does look like at this point the snow does pick up a little bit. It's going to be starting to get a little warmer, so it's probably going to be a very wet and kind of heavier snow. So I really wouldn't expect much of this to hang around at all. We're going to click it ahead to the 3 p.m. time frame and just see how this develops. As far as snowfall goes, adds a little bit more to the northwestern parts of Minnesota, then puts an inch down and through, kind of touches the I-94 corridor that dips down towards Minneapolis. But so you can see where most of the snow is expected to fall, where it's going to take a little bit longer for those warmer temperatures to get to. So maybe 1 to 2 inches in northern North Dakota. Otherwise, everywhere else is going to be a wet, half inch to maybe an inch at best. We're going to take a look at the winds here at this time frame. So here we are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Things are warming up. The snow has moved through, maybe get some rain, maybe a quick blast of freezing rain as well. And here you can see westerly winds starting to develop behind that warm front. Temperatures at that time, look at that. You're going to be seeing maybe even close to 50 down in the southwest, mid 30s through the Red River Valley, and then that freezing line cutting right through the north or western parts of Minnesota. And it doesn't really get too much further east than that. Let's see, it kind of cuts through the central part of the state, but then the problem is this little system, this Clipper system, starts to dive south. So you might have seen that cold air right before I flipped it up in the north. That's going to start to slide on south. And here you can see, again, it wants to develop some precip out ahead of this cold front that's moving along. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I get frustrated with my computer because it just doesn't quite do what I want it to do. I want to draw, dummy. I want to draw. I want to draw my cold front. There's a cold front. So colder air up and through this region, and this is going to sag on south through the nighttime Thursday night. So if you got any travel plans, if you have any sporting events going on tomorrow, most of that snow is going to be through by 6 p.m. Winds generally at this point, you know, you're going to have a little bit of a crust possibly on some of the snow. So the good thing is that any kind of wind that does develop won't, really shouldn't blow a whole lot of snow around, but still, this model in particular is still showing gusts possibly to 40, maybe even a 50 way down in the James River Valley region, but they're really not expecting much for snow there at all. In fact, they might just get a little light layer of rain on top of it, so that should help hold things down in that region. So if anything does blow, the bad thing is with the temperatures warming up, it does tend to stick to the roadways. So visibility wise, don't think it'll be as bad. What does drift could stick to the surface, and so what could be the more dangerous aspect of this is just possibly the slippery roads that could occur as these winds do start to move. These westerly winds, come across the surfaces. So here we are at once again at 6 p.m. and we're going to flip it ahead. That cold front begins to move further south as we go to that 9 p.m. time frame. And, by this point, now we're looking at temperatures starting to fall again. Now we're going to start to reach into the 20s pretty quickly into the northern Red River Valley, northern parts of Minnesota. There you can see they do depict some snow. Not a lot going to fall out of that. It's going to be very light and just kind of some nuisance-y stuff. They could reduce the visibilities at times in the evening, but not really going to be a whole lot as far as accumulation-wise. Midnight Thursday night, just more scattered snow. Cold temperatures start to move, north to south. The temperatures that we will enjoy tomorrow are quickly going to go away as this system moves on through. Boy, I mean, if you could ever, you don't have to be a meteorologist to find this cold front. I mean, you can just look for the kinks in the isobars here. Right through there. I mean, that's all you have to look for, folks, in this case. You can see right where they're at. And because there is some of this kinking in here, I would expect, probably just a brief period of some gustier winds as this front does move through. That would last for an hour or so. And then they would lighten up a little bit. But even still, back on the back end of this, we're still going to be seeing some gustier northerly winds as temperatures continue to plummet. Obviously, colder temperatures move in, you're going to have some gustier winds. That's just how it is. And here you can see once again, models showing generally around 40. Here's your front, a little bit lighter winds in through here, and then your westerly winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour gusting down there. We just can't get away from the gusts this year, folks. I don't know what to tell you. It's it's annoying. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I don't want it anymore. Temperature wise, by this point, so now we're looking at 6 a.m. on Friday, and we'll just show you here how far temperatures kind of fall. You can see we're in below zero up in the northern parts of the Red River Valley. Freezing area just kind of cutting through south central parts of North Dakota. But even as I clip this along and we jump to the noon time on Friday, and you'll see temperatures really don't move a whole lot just because that system does continue to move south. Still negatives out in the east, some 20s in western parts of North Dakota. Get into the evening time on Friday evening. And of course, temperatures are just gonna, now you're getting into that evening and nighttime time frame. So nothing's really gonna move as far as going up. we're going to move ahead here to Saturday morning. Not too bad. Temperatures really don't do a whole lot. There is another little system that this particular model that the NAM wants to show. Well, and here you can see what eventually happens. Spoiler alert, it gets colder. But here we are Saturday afternoon. So this is 3 p.m. So highs for Saturday, middle 30s down in the southwestern parts of North Dakota, and then you're looking like right around zero in northeastern North Dakota, northern Minnesota. Another cool day, and some gustier winds to go along with that as well. Just because, again, I mean, it's holding these temperatures down a little bit. So we're going to be having some northerly winds that are gusts to 20 or so in the northeast, and then here you can even see down on the southwestern parts of North Dakota, we really get some good winds that develop. This particular model, interestingly enough, on Saturday wants to bring through more snow. And why I say interestingly enough is because none of the longer range models really show that. Now this is the most current model. This is probably a more accurate model, but as I'll show you in a bit, some of the other models bring this little system through, but don't really bring any snow. Now you can see what it does bring, I mean, is not a lot. Accumulation-wise, through this system, just adds, an inch to some areas at most. So really not going to be much, but yet another little quick-moving, dry clipper system that could bring another inch of snow, and then it just pulls on out and brings in. It keeps the temperatures down. That's the other bad thing as this system moves through. It just, it pulls the temperatures back down, and we're just, we're not going to really recover from it, at least, especially in the eastern parts of the state. Out in the west, where you have a little bit of a snow cover, and then also just given where the jet stream is expected to line up, I mean, this thing really doesn't change. This jet just doesn't ever change. We're still sitting with a jet that just kind of hangs in through here, and eastern part of the state is on the cold side, and then you have the west that just kind of sits just barely into the warm side of things, and this jet in through here just kind of fluctuates, moves far enough east, and then another little system comes and it knocks it back down. So I feel like John Madden drawing all over the place. It's kind of fun. But anyway, high pressure over us on Sunday morning. Going to be another, what that means was, temperature-wise, when you're looking at high pressure settling overhead this time of year, it's going to be another cold night. So temperatures, low temperatures, maybe minus 20 in the bad portions of our region, and then closer to 10 down in the southwest. Now, when we flip over to one of the other models, same time frame. Like we're going to jump back to Saturday more. And a couple more clicks here. Gotta find the right time. So here we are, Saturday, and once again, here's our low. It's further off to the west, and there's no snow, and a lot of the other longer range models are similar to that. So we'll see. We'll see what they do for the 0Z run, for this evening's run, and see if they change their tune. However, one thing they all seem to have in common is this next system up through here. And we will show you that here. We'll click that along and show you that it does look like, as we get into Sunday, late Sunday into Monday, another system's expected to move down in through the area, keeping temperatures cold once again across the east, a little bit more mild down in the southwest, possibly bringing snow to the Red River Valley in northwestern Minnesota. What else is new? I mean, same track, same, I mean, we just can't ever seem to get away with this or get away from this at all. and these systems just keep coming, and they're on a track that keeps the east cool and the west a little more mild. The good thing is when we do look at this is that temperatures, we're not expecting any real frigid cold weather at all. So that is the nice thing when we take a look at these models. So, oh, and this is just slow. I'm sorry, folks. We gotta wait for this to think and think and think. So there's our Friday storm. A little bit slower than what that NAM model showed, the latest run of the NAM. But I think I kind of like the NAM a little better when it comes to the timing of that. Here we get into that Saturday time frame, and there's that low that pulls out. Doesn't bring us any precip, maybe some very light, but I really think we're probably, just because that's just what's been going on, we're going to get some snow out of this. I just don't think we're not going to get away with it. And then here's the next system on Sunday, bringing more snow into the region, keeping the east a little cooler. You can see our nice little red line here, our 540 line, so our kind of separation between rain and snow typically. So here we are. We're on the northeast side of this low, colder here, a little more mild down in the southwest once again. And this is, again, Sunday afternoon. Super Bowl. So I don't know who you're picking. I'm rooting for the Bengals. Just because years ago I used to be a fan of them, and yeah, I was kind of devastated when they lost back in '88. So I would really hope that they win, but we'll see. I don't know. I got a bad feeling they're going to lose, just because it seems like the teams I always root for do lose. But anyhow, here we are. We're getting into Monday evening. As you can see, not much has changed. Nothing really coming through. We do try to warm up on Tuesday. So it looks like next Tuesday is going to be a nice, probably a pretty decent day. Another high pressure moves in on Wednesday, cools things off, but doesn't really look like much in the way of kind of snow, at least for a few days after this next little system moves through on Sunday. And then here you see Thursday, another little one tries to develop, but storm chaser's delight right now. I've got people already talking, or seeing people already talk about this thing down here, and they're getting excited about Dixie Alley here. Just the possibility of some severe weather and going chasing. Everybody's getting itchy. All the meteorologists are getting itchy to go storm chasing again. So it looks like possibly on Thursday. And as this system does kind of kick out, it looks like it's going to kind of hold this one off to the north, and we're going to be stuck in the middle with possibly dry conditions finally, or milder conditions. We'll see if this continues to hold, but it seems like as the models go, this has kind of been the trend, is that this bigger system to the south is going to kick out and kind of hold everything off for us in the north. So maybe we'll actually get a break for a few days and get some more, get some temperatures that are a little more average for this time of year, and that would be good. I'll take it. So I'm going to try to find something here. Sorry. Gosh. Find what I'm looking. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, anyhow. So that's what we're looking at right now. Please, once again, if you guys have any questions, please, send them to me, even if it's afterwards. Send me a message on Facebook or Twitter, and I will try to answer them. If you have any event coming up, excuse me, that's unprofessional. But if you have any event coming up or anything of that sort, something you're really kind of curious about, please don't be afraid to ask me. I will definitely try to get to it. or I will get to it, I should say, and hopefully I can even get to it on air. Now, once again, pretty busy here in the next couple of days, so I thought I better definitely get online tonight just because we do have another system moving through tomorrow. But once a couple things kind of die off here at the end of February, I'm really hoping to be online most nights in through March and April. And then we get into the fun season of May and June and all the severe weather. And you can bet I'm going to be on for that. So thank you all for showing up, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, any comments, let me know. And I appreciate you